Okay, guys, I'm finishing up the video that I started last night and tell you everything that happened. Basically, I was in the room with Doug. He comes in, he asks me to go sit down beside that lady's slot machine and tell her that I need $20. And I'm like, no, Doug, I'm not going to do that. And so he's like, okay, fine. He starts pitching like a little temper tantrum because I'm not going to do it. And he's like, okay, fine, whatever, just have it your way and blah, 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 blah. You know, and I'm like, I'm like, first of all, Doug, you're asking me to do something that goes against my grain. And I go, that's why I'm not going to do it. And then he's like, oh, don't you start with me. If you say one more word, and I go, this is how it is. I go, every time you get me out of town, we leave Tunica, we're somewhere else right out of town, you start acting like a control freak. And so he's like, well, that's fine then. I'll take you back to Tunica. And I go, okay, fine. Take me back to Tunica. That's what you need to do. So we get my bag, go down to the car, blew up just like I knew it would. Waiting. I was watching the clock, waiting for it to blow up. Yep, blew up. So get in the car and everything. We're on our way back to Tunica. And so he says, I'm going to drop you off at one of the casinos. Which casino you want to go to? I go, okay, I want to go to Fitzgerald. Drop me off there. And he's all like, you're just an ungrateful bitch. Just call me that. I'm like, yeah, okay, right. I'm ungrateful. I'm like, you started this whole thing. And you asked me to do something stupid that I didn't want to do. I'm not going to do it, And he's like, I'm just going to let you go. I'm just going to take you back, And he goes, I'm not even going to take you to a casino. I'm going to take you to the bus depot. And he goes, you can just sit there and think about it. I'm like, think about what, Doug? Think about what? You asked me to do something stupid that I didn't want to do, and I told you I don't want to do it. I go, what is there to think about? What are you talking about? So then he takes me to this bus depot. Now it's 10 miles from any casino. As far as this guy knows, I have no money, which is not true because I had some in the bank. But Melvin put some in the bank for me. But, I don't tell him that because he doesn't need to know because he's going to put me in a situation at some point and I'm going to need, what I have in the bank to get me out of the situation that I'm in. So, basically, he's taking me there thinking that I have no money, and he's putting me 10 miles from a casino. The place closes up at 10 o'clock at night. It's a McDonald's convenience store. They roll up to town at 10 o'clock at night. It's a small town. And, they roll up the sidewalk, is what I meant to say. Not roll up the town. I'm just getting really tired. So, basically, I sit there for 2-3 hours in this McDonald's. I'm using the Wi-Fi. And I go into my spam folder and I found out, I have 1,100 some spam. And what's going in there is my notifications for Facebook, notifications for YouTube, which shouldn't be in my spam folder. And so I go in there and start trying to clean all that up. I look at some of the stuff that I've pretty much missed. And I just started pondering over some of it. And, I'm kind of really throwing a curveball over here with the Naomi situation. People are emailing me like, what's wrong, what's going on, I'm like, got me. So I wrote her and I tried to, explain things. That thing about that picture that was distorted on my cell phone after I brought the picture up from Facebook. The picture gets distorted on my cell phone. And, that's the first thing that happened. It happened to me on a website one time, too. They blackened both of my eyes on a website where I had she and I together on that website. And so this time they blackened one of her eyes and put blood on her face. And, this is stuff that they do, invading electronics and stuff. And, I tried to explain to her again that, I didn't do that. I would never do that. Anything like that. And, I don't know if she believes me or not. I don't know what's going on. But I I did try to explain it again because I don't want her to think that I would do anything like that, because I certainly would never do anything like that to her. So I wrote that and everything. And then this guy comes over. They're about to close up the McDonald's, and the guy comes over. I'm not even paying attention to the time because I'm so involved in what I'm doing. And he says, ma'am, do you need a ride somewhere? And I said, yeah, actually I do. I need a ride over to Fitzgerald's. And maybe if we can go down the street and let me use my ATM and everything, I'll get the gas money for you. And so the guy was real nice, and we rode over to Fitzgerald's. And on the way over there, I started talking to him about crap. And I told him, if he would be interested in doing something like that, and he said he would. He was a young guy, and I took his phone number, put it in my cell phone. So he really did seem genuinely interested in that. And when he left, he honked the horn, gave me a thumbs up, and he was waiting on that phone call. So I go into Fitzgerald's, and I put my bags that I had with me into the valet storage. Don't want to drag those around. And I walked down the hall, and these guys that won a slot contest are signing whatever they have to sign. And there's James, which I really wasn't expecting to see him. I was thinking there was a possibility, but I wasn't expecting to see him. And the fact was that he there he was. And I was happy to see him, and I walked up behind him, and I did a little, on his waist. He turned around, and so he signed this little thing, and he said, "You're not going to believe this." He said, "I had the room for 3 nights, and I canceled it." I said, "Really?" And so he says, "I've got somewhere else. I've got to go do such and such, and I'm going to come back in a couple hours." And he goes, "I'm going to try to get the room back up, but I can't make any promises." And he says, "Because it's holiday, if you give up the room, somebody's waiting for that room, because, Tunica was full everywhere." And so he said, "I will find you when I come back." And so I said, "Okay." So we were downstairs. I went upstairs. And I said, he said he'd find me, so I'm just going to take him at his word. He's going to find me. And go upstairs. And I'm up there a lot longer than the time just seemed to pass by. Well, first I went to the bathroom, and I washed my face and put some makeup on because I didn't have on a drop of makeup. And so, because I left the hotel kind of abruptly in Tula with the Doug situation, and so I didn't really have time to prepare, to go anywhere. And so I ended up leaving with no makeup in the bathroom, put makeup on. So then I went upstairs, and time passed by real fast, faster than I realized. Looked at the clock, and that 2 hours had turned into basically 3.5 hours. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I was upstairs. He didn't find me. He said he was going to find me. And, gee, I didn't see him. Maybe I should have just stayed downstairs until he got back or whatever. And I thought, well, he said he's going to find me. He didn't. I had a cell phone. He didn't call me. Maybe he was just, who knows? Usually when he says something real direct like that, he means it. And, I was disappointed. So I go and I sit in the lobby and try not to let it get to me. But, I couldn't help it. Cried a couple tears. I was like, don't cry, don't cry. I don't want to cry and sob in the lobby. So I just said, who knows, maybe tomorrow he'll show up or something like that. So I was kind of upset, and I was amazed that, I'm like, this guy can still take my heart, and he can do it like just the slightest little thing like this, And so I go to the bathroom. I said, I'm just going to go to the bathroom and make a video about all the stuff that's happening, because there's so much stuff happening at one time. So I go to the bathroom, start making the video. And while I'm making the video, the phone rings, and I'm thinking that's probably Doug. It's like the middle of the night. And it was actually him. And he was like, I've been looking for you for 3 hours. And so I was like, I'm in the bathroom making a video. So I'll meet you in the lobby. So we met in the lobby, and he had gotten the room back actually for at least one night. And he said he couldn't get all three, but he got the one, and that he might be getting the next night after the one passed. He might be able to still swing another night if they could squeeze him in or whatever. So we go up to the room and everything, and he's been really, really sweet. And the thing that I've been waiting, for 6 years happened. We finally were all the way together. And it's been like 6 long years since that happened, and there were so many times that I longed for him over that 6-year period. And so it was really sweet. And, the sad thing about it was that he started complaining about his kidneys. And I knew. I knew, but because of the way that he was describing the symptoms, how they would just come like suddenly, and like they would stay and put him in a lot of pain. And then the next thing you know, he said, they just go away. And I was like, okay, you're under electronic harassment, I hate to tell you. And that was sad to me, to hear that, talking about getting zapped. And he said 3 days straight he had really bad hard time with kidneys. So, crossed that bridge. And so anyway, when we were sleeping, because of electronic harassment, you don't sleep like a baby or anything. So it was really neat because he just kept waking up. And I would wake up and I would open my eyes and he'd be laying there looking at me. And then sometimes I would wake up and I'd be laying there looking at him, and he'd open his eyes. And so this went on all night long. I was like, we must be just amazed that we're laying beside each other. And so anyway, everything's gone real well today. It's been real sweet. And he had to go run some errands, and he's coming back later. So that happened. I think I'm caught up on everything pretty much, as far as I know. And Bobby called me this morning, and I told her, I said, he's such a nutcase, and here's what he did. That's right. But as it turned out, it was a good thing for me. Because I wouldn't have ran into James. And so anyway, that's all that's happening. And I told him, I don't know if I should say this part or not, but I told him, I said, oh, by the way, I was like, we have a daughter. Let me show you our daughter. And I have this video. And I showed it to him. And he goes, I can't tell you what he said. Cannot tell you what he said. It's off limits. But he was pretty neat with it. Just that he doesn't. There's a lot of stuff. He doesn't know anything about the internet thing. They don't say anything on TV about all this. So, but he understands the zap. He's like, yeah, he's like, he goes and stands by the window, and I go, don't look out there. I go, don't open the window, look out. The globalists are out there. And so he goes, he stands in front of the window, and he goes, here I am, come get me. He's so funny. So anyway, that's it, guys. You're all caught up. Here I am.